Alright, my name is Blake and I'm going to teach you guys in this video the difference in sizes of cable. Alright, this is going to be the smaller video, the smaller sizes of cable. I'm going to start off with the small stuff. As you would, pretty much the opposite of what you would expect. We start from big numbers equals small cable. Like this is 22 gauge and it's small. You think it'd be big, but it's not. We go up to 16 gauge, a little bit bigger, still really small. Then we move on up to 6 gauge, nope, 8. This is, obviously much larger than the rest. So, we got these, the smaller the number, the bigger it gets, but what happens when we get to 1? We call that, well, I guess 1/0 is 1/0, so 0. These are both 1/0. The only difference is what they are, the metals. This one on here that I'm shaking is the copper coated aluminum, and this is OFC, oxygen free copper. Now, copper has gotten more and more expensive over the years, and so companies are trying to, make more money and sell the same thing. So what they've been doing is doing the main metal, aluminum, and just coating it with copper, which is, I don't know, I'm not going to judge, but the original stuff is much better in my term, and what I think. It's just copper with aluminum on the outside. So, what a coincidence. Alright, so these are both 1/0. Now we move up from 1/0, 2/0. So now from 0 gauge, we are going to count up in zeros. So this is 1/0, this is 2 zeros, 0/0, 3 zeros, and 4 zeros. So it'll be 1/0, 2/0, 3/0, 4/0. Now, so this is 2/0. Notice how it's kind of ironic that they look pretty much the same size, but they're actually quite different. This 2/0 is much more compressed in its strands, and it is literally a 2/0 compared to this 1/0. Now up from the 2/0, we have 3/0, which I don't have any stranded versions. I have solid core. Now the difference is, stranded can carry a lot, is meant for current, because current rides in the outside of a wire. Now the solid carries more voltage, if I'm saying that right. Yep. And notice how this is aluminum. Most power systems, like what you get your power into your house, they run on aluminum. Like this one, this is an underground power wire. This is aluminum center with a spacer, and then copper rings, copper tubes, I guess, or cable on the outside. So the majority of this stuff is aluminum because, obviously copper is getting more and more expensive. Now from here, we move up into the 4/0. Now this is as big as it gets in that rating system. We don't want to be 5/0, 6/0, 7/0, 8/0. It's going to be confusing after a while. So this is where I'm going to stop this part of the video, and we are going to move up with the second part of the video. So we're stopping at 1/0, solid core. And we're back. Now, moving up, we have no longer 4/0. We are now moving up into the, let me see, I've got to make sure this is right. We're moving up into the circular mill, or MCM. Now, this 4/0 is 250 MCM, or KCMIL. It's all just whatever sizing standards you use in your country. Now, we move up. This one right here, I believe, is 350 KCMIL. So what it all means is circular millimeters. I'll have a link down in the description that'll tell you more about it, the rating systems. But 4/0 is pretty much 250 MCM. So this is 4/0, 250. Now we're moving our way up to 350. So, I mean, obviously it's much larger than Faurot. And you can kind of tell. Alright, and then up from there, with some slightly bigger equipment. I mean, not by far, but this is what is it? 777 MCM. This is comparable to 9/0. So, if we want to make 9/0, so remember this is 1/0. That's 9/0. I mean, you can kind of get the idea. Now everything is bigger. Oops. Everything is bigger as well as much heavier. That's the problem I'm having. So this right here is a 1/0 end. Just to give you an idea how big this is. So 1/0, 9/0. The cable what the uses for this cable would be for oil platforms, train locomotives, anything that requires a just massive amount of power. So again, this is just the size of this cable is just absolutely incredible. And this all here is pure copper. Stranded pure copper meant for current. Obviously with the amount of copper in there it can handle a high amount of voltage too. So just to give you an idea of how big it is. And that is pretty much it on this cable thing. I mean, as you can see, when people brag about, oh, I have 1/0, it doesn't work very far. It doesn't, it just doesn't go far in life. So 1/0's where you begin. It only goes up from there. And this huge train cable, believe it or not, it gets much bigger than this. Alright, this has been Blake teaching you about power cable. Ta-da! Alright, see you later.